Make sure to check out part 1 of this conversation on Dinu's channel. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching.
How about this? If somebody came up to you and said, hey, listen, I'm a non-vegan. I want to go vegan, but I want to go vegetarian first. What would you say?
Why?
Because
Why?
for them, the goal of going vegan seems much more doable, and they have much more confidence in that they will achieve that goal if they just start off being a vegetarian first.
What I would tell them is I would basically make them more aware of how dairy and the egg industry and other industries like that are just as horrible, if not more in some cases, than the meat industry. And what I would focus on is what feels so hard. You know, I want to support you in like trying to make it easier on you because it is a transition. How can I help you make it more easy for you? You know, like how can we do this and how can we remember why we're doing it? It's also helping people understand that it's not hard. It's just, it's very much before you make the decision. It's kind of like a mental thing. And a lot of people also don't want to identify as vegan because of some backlash that may happen. They don't want to tell their friends that they're going to be vegan or whatever.
Yep.
When you go vegan, you realize, oh, no, actually, the thing that was holding me back, because obviously this is not hard, technically, it's the social thing.
I mean,
you know, and then I can help them, you know.
See, I don't, okay, that's something I disagree with, because if a non-vegan came up to me and said, hey, listen, man, I want to go vegan, like, I'm super excited about this, and I want to go vegetarian first, my immediate reaction, all right, we're like halfway there, I'm not going to chase you away, like scare you away.
No, you have to tell them, oh, that's great, you know, but then you have to tell them.
Yeah, I think that's a later conversation. Like if you know what I'm like, we're still trying to get this guy to achieve his goal. Like we're not saying stop at vegetarianism. We're saying, all right, we're going to go vegan.
I see what you mean. Yeah, but I think we agree more than you think there. Maybe the difference between me and you is that I would put it in the same conversation, because if I hadn't watched Gary Ruffsky telling me that the moral baseline is veganism because eggs, dairy, whatever is just as horrible, I would not have become vegan as fast. And it was fine, and I was a teen. It's all about the why, really, and no one else is holding them accountable. No one else is communicating the gravity of the situation.
Okay, what about somebody who is aware of the meat industry and the dairy industry, and they're both horrible for animals? Sometimes you have the knowledge. Like, I know a lot of things that's great for me, but like, for example, let's say I need to start waking up at 4 o'clock every morning. Like, that's good for me. And let's say I usually wake up at 9. And if I want to start waking up at 4 o'clock, probably not going to wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning. I mean, I could, but if somebody, hey, listen, man, if you want to go wake up at 4 o'clock, just wake up 30 minutes early every day.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, wake up 30 minutes early every day. And then we'll get to waking up at 4. Like, we're getting there. Like, you're going to wake up at 4 one day. But if you don't have to wake up at 4 tomorrow, I think it's worth it that you start waking up at 4 2 weeks after today than trying to wake up at 4 tomorrow and giving up on the whole thing. Because at the end of the day,
I see what you mean.
At the end of the day, now you have a person that wakes up at 4. But if you try to put so much, you know, pressure or whatever, they're gonna be like, oh, fuck this, I can't do this, I'm just gonna give up, right? We're not accomplishing anything though. Like, we're back to square one. I would actually try to talk to them about what they think is because they know them better than anybody. They would be like, dude, I know we don't agree with this. Like, I'm telling you,
I know what you mean, and I used to think that. I'm not saying it's like it's just that.
And there might be somebody that wants to go vegan right away. Like, if that's the case, fucking do it, and I'm gonna hold you accountable for that. But if going vegan. Hold on.
You can't hold someone accountable who's already holding themselves accountable.
What do you mean?
You're not holding them accountable if you're only holding them accountable when they're holding themselves accountable already.
Like, they're non-vegan, right? And they want to go vegan. When I say accountable, like, I'm gonna support you is what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, that's not the same thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like, I'm gonna make sure that you're sticking to your goals. Like, I'm gonna be in your corner, making sure that.
Yeah, but that's the difference, and I understand what you mean. And I agree with it, but in the sense of, I don't think it applies to that in the same way, because the difference between the waking up at 4 a.m. thing, it only is about your own lifestyle. It's only about your goals. That completely different. Like, it doesn't matter how quick you do it, you know, but there is a direct consequence with someone, like an urgent consequence with someone. It's not okay to take your time for this. Because of the consequence. It's like we're focusing more on how easy it is for people causing the harm than the actual consequence.
But I think it's more okay them going vegetarian and then eventually going to veganism than saying you need to go vegan, or if not, this doesn't matter.
But the thing is, I don't think it turns someone off from going vegan. I think it makes them understand the gravity of the situation better. That's why. Because they will do that.
Right.
They will do the baby steps. And again, I don't think it's okay to do that. I don't think it's okay. It's just you have to do it for the animals. You just have to help them, make it easier for them, not in terms of making them feel better about still being non-vegan in some ways, just helping them transition to a vegan lifestyle if it is hard for them.
I think it is a challenge for some, like if you think about neurologically, like if you've been eating meat for 25 years of your life, and I'm asking you to stop, like give up on all of them, that's hard to do.
But it doesn't matter.
I'm not saying it matters. I'm just saying that's something hard to do.
It can be hard for some people.
And we need to take that into consideration.
Sure, but let's do that. But like in helping them.
Yeah. Like
but not in telling them that you can still eat meat a little bit once a week.
No. We're
not until you get there.
No, we're saying every time you eat meat, we're gonna make sure that they're aware of it. But your awareness is different than what your brain is telling you. Like I'm aware of a lot of things in this world that I need to do, but I can't just turn on a switch and start doing them all of a sudden. If
someone tells you that something is happening in the world that you are participating in, something that's horrible, what is gonna be more convincing and what's gonna make you change? Someone who's like, well, do what you can kind of thing, or someone who's really holding you accountable, like, no, this is not okay. I will help you transition. But Got it. What makes more sense? What's gonna actually hit you?
Exactly. So it comes down to your reasons, right? If you have strong reasons, if you want to go vegan in one day, right? If you really want to, if you don't want to, I think that's fine. And I don't agree with that.
I don't.
We're gonna have to agree. If you can't go vegan in one day, but it's gonna take you 10 days, I would rather have you go through the 10 days and eventually become a vegan.
But me too. That's what we don't disagree on. I don't disagree that it's better that they eat less. I disagree that it's good enough. It's not good enough. Less suffering is better than more suffering, obviously, but none are okay because that's the same thing to me.
I think I understand it.
I think that was the misunderstanding.
Yeah. There's no way around this, right? There's like veganism is the only way to make sure that animals don't get killed unnecessarily in terms of like of like diet. We're talking about food in general, right? We can get into leather.
I mean, food, leather, like going to circuses with animals, whatever. Aquariums, name it.
So
riding horses.
Saying a vegetarian for the rest of your life is not okay. You're still causing harm. Well, wait, hold on. I just said it and I realized staying a vegetarian is better than eating meat. Do we agree?
It depends what you mean.
I mean, if everybody stopped drinking milk.
But it depends if you're talking about quantity. For example, if a vegetarian would buy as much dairy and someone meat, it's the same.
Let's say the whole world went vegetarian. That would reduce a lot of suffering.
But it depends. It depends because the dairy just kills just as much, and it's actually worse in some ways for the animals because it's longer. Like it depends how much you would eat and stuff like this.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's say the world as it is right now. However much people are consuming meat and dairy, right? Just in general.
Yes.
Let's say the world as it is right now goes vegetarian. That would save a lot of animals.
They don't replace meat or fish with eggs and dairy.
Yeah, they're not. No, they're not going to drink milk they're going to eat.
Objectively, it is better for the animals, but it's nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near okay.
I agree with that.
In terms of consequences.
Yeah, because we're not going to be like, oh, it's okay to rape a cow to get milk, but it's not okay to kill it. Like,
I mean, both are horrible. But besides, they both happen, but like.
Yeah, we're not going to okay one crime and
exactly.
Say the other crime is bad. Like both crimes are terrible.
So we agree that consequence-wise it is better, but it's like like after, let's say, lame. Like it's not.
Let's say after the whole world goes vegetarian, now we're not going to stop there. We're going to, all right, we're halfway there. Let's work on going vegan.
I think the difference is also that I don't necessarily, in some ways I see vegetarian as a stepping stone to veganism because of how you excluded some part of suffering, often because you care, because it's more obvious to you, even if it's not actually objective that it causes less harm and less killing, really, because in dairy cows get killed and their babies. So it shows being aware of the suffering and caring, things like that, that can be really good potential for veganism, right? I understand that and I agree with that to some degree. But it's also consequence-wise, it's not necessarily that better because it depends on how much dairy you eat. And it's the same mindset of human supremacy of exploiting animals. And at the end of the day, you're still exploiting an animal in terms that it's not an accident, like, for example, would happen in crops or whatever, something you can control to bring down. It's something that's deliberate and that's completely avoidable. Right? Reducing any type of animal secretions or whatever out of your diet or lifestyle is better for the animals, right? Yeah. But it's not good enough to have a little bit of, a little bit of rape, a little bit of murder, a little bit of slavery.
Yeah, I agree.
Essentially, it's wrong and it should just not happen. Yeah. You know what? We literally went in that conversation without knowing it.
No, I think
God damn it!
I think
it's so annoying.
I think we stayed on track because now we're talking about basically abolitionism versus welfareism. Obviously, like
welfareism, it's way more about the treatment of animals, and we're more talking about reducitarianism, really, right now. It's kind of similar. But...
I think we were we did go into that conversation to conclude. And I think if you want to be a vegetarian, in the process of going vegan, you're gonna go vegetarian, just stay there. I mean, even if you want to go vegetarian and stay there, like on an average family is thinking about, let's all go vegetarian. I'm not gonna be like, fuck no, you gotta go vegan. I'm not gonna say that.
I wouldn't say that either.
I won't say that word, but I'm gonna be like, I will support that. Like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Well, me too, but I would hold them accountable. But the thing is, I can't force them.
You can't force them.
But I can control what I say.
You can, but what you say might influence them in staying vegetarian or going back to eating meat, because I'm like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, but I think that's the core of our disagreement. You see demanding veganism to be a baseline as asking too much, because it's gonna make them uncomfortable. It's gonna make them...
It is asking a lot from them. I don't think it's too much, but you're asking them a lot.
But you're saying that it's too much if you're demanding.
For somebody who's has been eating meat for 50 years of their life, asking them to go vegan is a lot.
But it doesn't matter, because whatever you say, you're not even controlling them. So you know what I mean? It's not like people, when they're held accountable or turned off, it's when you make excuses for them that they're gonna be like, oh, well, I can just take it easy kind of thing. But if you make them uncomfortable and you kind of like tell them, no, there are so many vegans out there, I can help you. You really have no excuse, you can do it. And they still choose not to do it, then it's very uncomfortable. It's gonna be harder for them to find excuses because you will not let them.
Right. I agree.
Because there are excuses. They are.
They are excuses.
When you focus on the victim, it's very clear that it's just not okay and it has to stop right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, I think, so
and we are the spokesperson.
We are.
And so we have to communicate the urgency and the gravity, because they have no idea.
They don't. I think so now. So we're actually having a conversation about how to approach these people, right? We're having a conversation about how to approach these people.
We can't help. I guess this is inevitably about that.
Yeah. So to conclude the conversation, I want to get this right. You and I both agree veganism is better than going vegetarian. Veganism is better than going vegetarian. But going vegetarian is better than eating meat.
Yes.
No.
If you assume, like we said, like we agreed, if you assume
we're gonna,
that it's less.
I mean, what we disagree on is the level of support we give to a vegetarianism.
No, but you use that word. I don't see it as support. I see it as offering excuses. Because you can't give support to someone while holding them accountable. You see what I mean?
I get it. Like, it's you should not have excuses. But it's harder to start like that.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't
because
matter. It doesn't matter.
Because you can help them in terms of like what's hard.
Do you agree that it's harder to start with no excuses than saying a little excuses?
Well, I don't understand what that means.
Like, let's say I need to lose 150 pounds.
No, we went there.
No.
Explain why.
I'm going to explain. Like, let's say I need to lose 150 pounds. If I don't, I'm going to die. Like, this is a huge, like, I need to lose at least 150 pounds. For me, I can work out 4 hours a day, like intense workouts. And I can lose all that weight, let's say in 2 months, which is, insane. There should not be any excuses for you to not lose 150 pounds if that's doable. You've been probably eating like shit. That's been your lifestyle. I think it's fair that we cut some slack to this human being, right? In terms...
Yes, this one.
Like, we need to cut some slack.
But that is so different. To me, it's not a good comparison at all.
We're going to be like, hey, man.
It's so easy to be vegan, comparatively.
I don't think it's easy. It's easy once you understand it.
Yes, exactly, and we do, so we have to communicate.
Yeah, we have to communicate. I think it's easy to
the
make.
urgency and the
I
gravity.
think any change, if you talk to that person the right way, I think it's easy to create change in a moment. Like I went vegan in a moment. Right? I'm living proof for that. I went vegan in one night. But that's because somebody communicated that to me in a way that works for me.
Of course.
The thing is, if you're confident in your communication skills, yes, do that. But it's so important during that communication, we're not linking any kind of pain or anything to going vegan. Because the moment you do that, they're going to back off. They're going to be like, oh, shit, seems like a lot to handle. Same thing with the person who wants...
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And that's why you have to dispel the thing that it's hard. Because it's not.
But it's hard depending on how you look at it.
That's the thing. The thing is, people are stuck in this mindset of like me, really, because they're like, oh, it's hard for me. When you remember why, which is the victim, and you remember the footage you've seen, and you remember that there's always an individual at the end of that, it does not matter how uncomfortable you are when you're at the store, or how uncomfortable you are, like with your family members. It's nothing in comparison to what they're going through. You know,
yeah, we understand
and that they're
we understand that because
yes,
because we're
exactly.
vegan.
But we have to stop infantilizing them when we're telling them it's so hard for you. When it's just we are the spokesperson, we are the people who know what's going on. We can't enable this kind of mentality of like it matters more that I'm uncomfortable than what I'm doing, what I'm paying to happen. You know. It just does not matter as much as what's going on, like for these animals.
I agree.
It matters, but it does not matter as much.
I agree. I think we agree on that. You going through a quote unquote a hard time, is trying to stop eating meat and going vegan doesn't even compare to the pain that the animals are going through trying to get that steak on your plate or milk.
And the rights violation that they go through.
Right. So I think our disagreement is that
yeah, I think we disagree on what works.
Yeah.
I know that this is going to happen, that they're not going to necessarily go overnight. I don't necessarily expect that, but I am the one who's holding them accountable. They have an army of people around them just telling them, why are you even considering it? Like, why are you so hard on yourself? You know, I'm the one who's like not here to be hard on them, just hold them accountable and just link them to the victim's point of view.
Okay.
And I cannot make excuses because they already have so many and they're all wrong.
When you say accountable, you're saying doing things to make sure that they go vegan.
Telling them they have the responsibility too for the animals and things like that, holding them responsible.
And I'm going to hold them accountable. I think that's our next conversation, like your way of holding them accountable and my way of holding them accountable.
But it's not like I'm screaming at people or being mean. I'm just telling them every time you buy this product, what's happening to them is happening on your behalf.
Right.
It's not society. You are part of society. And you have to take accountability. I'm not saying it like that because right now I'm passionate and because I'm talking with another vegan.
Right.
I build rapport with the person, I make sure that their body language is open and they're not feeling unsafe, things like that. But in terms of words, I do tell them that at the end of the conversation, after we've done the Socratic method. It's not like I'm going to be like, you're an asshole if you're not vegan, because I don't think that's effective. But I'm going to tell them the truth, which is like, it's going to happen on your behalf, because people don't feel like it's on them. They feel like it's kind of like on this nebulous thing, society kind of thing. Yeah. It's always others, really. And just by doing that, you're kind of putting the pressure on them that they need to actually go vegan. Because if you don't feel uncomfortable and you don't feel like this is needed, because it is the reality, it is needed right now for you to be vegan, why would you go vegan? There is, like, the whole reason we need people to go vegan is because it is urgent, because it is so grave and it's so unnecessary. Like, it's just so easy, to avoid.
Is it more urgent than it is important?
No, it's equal. I don't know what that means
because
to you.
Sometimes things may seem urgent, but then we forget how important it is. Like, it is, like, we forget how important it is that people actually follow through this.
Like, if you, for example, like rushing something, but you're not doing it well because
you're losing track of,
exactly. And
so what do you think is...
I'm aware of that, and I agree that that's why you have to be conscious of what you're doing in your conversation so that you're effective as much as is effective. Right. But I think part of this effectiveness is
Right, because
this being like
we can
holding them accountable, but not doing it badly
right
in a way that's too
because
aggressive.
we can put urgency on people all day long, but what's more
Yes.
important is that make sure that they do go vegan. And
Yeah,
if
exactly.
that's not
Exactly.
if that's not going to happen in one day, if that's going to happen in 10 days instead of one day, then we're gonna be like, all right, let's go. If that's the case, let's do it in 10 days. If one day is not going to work for you, let's do it in 10 days. But we are.
But I think it's unnecessary to say that.
I
That's
think
the
it's
point.
very
I think
necessary to say
you.
that because that way it seems doable. Like I think it's absolutely necessary to say that because that way they have a goal that they think is achievable. Therefore, they're
But
going to
they will
stick to
set
the
that
goal.
for
Huh?
themselves. But if you tell them it's okay, because it's not okay, it's literally not
But if
okay
you
to
say
do
that
that.
that's not okay, they're not gonna want to do anything that somebody is saying that's not okay, and then therefore we're having them believe that it's not okay. Nobody wants to do things that it's think that's not okay. Do you know Gary Vaynerchuk? He's a social media influencer, kind of like he's very big. Like he has a bunch of business. What he's saying is like, if you're 30 years old, 25 years old, 20 years old, and you don't know what the hell you're doing in life, that's okay. Okay.
But that is so
Well,
different.
what I'm trying to say is that if you're putting so much pressure on you, there's a comfort zone, right? The right amount of pressure will get you the goal. Too much pressure will make you quit.
I think that everybody around them is telling them it's okay. No one is telling them the truth, which is it's not okay in terms of consequences.
I think we're gonna have to sacrifice the fact that they know the truth to make sure that they're gonna actually follow through with it.
Explain
Like if I had
that.
to lie to them, hey, listen, it's okay to go. It's okay if you want to stay non-vegan for 10 years, but make sure you go vegan at the end of the 10 days. If that's gonna get them, which is not true. Like I agree. Like it's not okay to stay non-vegan even a minute.
But why would they even bother?
Because they want to go vegan. Like they understand. Like these people aren't.
But if you want to go vegan, it's not.
No. Like these people are on our side. Like they want to join our team.
Yes, and you can help them practically, but
Yeah,
like
but
that's the point. I think they will find excuses all by themselves. For example, if there's a rapist, you cannot, because of the victim, you cannot risk it.
we
You have
can't.
to make them stop and not do it again because of the consequence. Whatever way that works best to communicate to them, of course, but you can't tell them it's okay to do it once.
No.
You know
We're
what
not
I
saying
mean?
we're not saying it's okay. Like, well, I guess we are. I mean,
But yes,
we
we
are. Like,
are.
you're right. Well, it's different though.
I think people are not children and they should just be held accountable in a way that's respectful and things like that. But I think that this pressure is necessary to go vegan. Because for example, I was vegetarian on and off when I was a teen. If just someone had even been vegan around me, I would have been like, what the fuck am I doing? You know,
Right.
like I would have just turned right back.
Right.
Because I had no like one around me. I think that was a big reason why I didn't have a backbone, to be
Right.
honest. And the reasons this is going on is also because no one is holding anyone accountable because everybody's doing it, you know. And vegans are scared to,
Well,
you know, scare people
Did
away.
those people want to go vegan? Because that's the difference.
But you gotta make them want to.
We do.
You're not gonna make them motivated by saying it's okay to eat less until you get there. And the thing
As
is,
long as you get there.
cannot control them. That's
Like I'll
why.
say, like, hey, listen. Every time you eat meat, there's a consequence on the other end of that steak. Okay.
Yeah, and it's on your behalf. Like this is happening because of
This is
you,
happening
for you.
Like, but however, so we want to go vegan ASAP. What do you think is the best way of doing that to you? And if they go, okay, I think for me the best approach would be I would slowly, gradually take the meat away from my plate and the dairy away. I want to gradually transition into that within a month's period of time. If they say that, I would try to be like, can you do it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. Whatever they settle down to, I'm not gonna, and I'll be like, all right, okay, let's say we do it in 3 weeks. Are you up for that? They go, yeah, let's do it. I'll be on board with it. I'll be like, okay, fuck it. Let's do it. In 3 weeks, we're gonna go vegan. Ready? Go. That's how I wouldn't be like, well, if you say 3 months, it's gonna be fucking hard. Like you're still fucking creating so much pain for the next 3 weeks. Well, not 3 months, 3 weeks.
But why not?
Because
It's
then
true.
it's true, but that doesn't mean we have to tell them that because that's gonna push them away.
I don't agree. I think it's important to encourage people to tell like that's awesome that you want to do it. And I can recognize, I can see, I know it can be hard, you know. And I even asked them, is it harder for the animal, like in the victim's point of view, like, is it harder for you or for them? And is it worth it? Not shaming them. Being
So
firm.
how would you conclude the conversation? So are you not gonna give up on him until they or she or whoever.
No, but no. The last thing I say, just when I see that they're ready to leave, is like, I just want you to remember that every time you pay for these products or you participate in this, someone else on the other end is being exploited and killed on your behalf.
I agree. Okay, I agree with
but
that.
I don't hammer it down,
Right.
because I think that's where we probably
And
would
would you
have a
still
reconciliation of
would you
perspectives.
still support the 3-week progress or no?
I would encourage them for going into the thing, but I would still hold them accountable
For the 3 weeks.
See, I think we can have both.
Mm.
I think maybe you would see holding them accountable maybe in something that would negate their progress. But I think that this is something that's both, like, I think it's important to encourage people's progress because they are making efforts. But like, in the scheme of things, just remember the freaking victims. And at the end of the day, you're not a child. This is not that hard. And the animals are going through hell because you're feeling uncomfortable because you don't have your steak tonight. This is ridiculous. And we have to not be mean about it, not necessarily say it in that way because it's gonna be too much shame for them and they're just gonna go in fight or flight mode, even if it is the truth. But communicating in a way that just communicates the gravity of the situation and that it's on them to do the change, and in a way that's encouraging. You know what I mean?
You're saying. I swear so. So I think we do agree on a lot of things. We do have some disagreements.
Yeah, I think it's just the little tweaks of like the nuances that, and I think we kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
I think we agree now.
I think
because it was very intricate.
Yeah, intricate shit.
Nuances. Like,
but I think people will just by listening to us coming into that conclusion, I feel like people are gonna like start thinking about it. Lucy's phone is maxed out. Lucy's phone, like, shut the fuck up. We're done with this conversation. So I'm gonna do the closing, but thank you so much for listening, and Lucy's on the other side thanking as well, and hopefully we'll have a lot more conversations about veganism and other specific topics, and this probably won't be the only conversation that we have, and we're happy to bring it to you guys. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you sometime soon. See ya.